The Milwaukee Brewers have defeated the Chicago Cubs three times in a row to take the season series lead. However, the Cubs can stop the bleeding with Shota Imanaga on the mound later this afternoon. Can they get it done? It's your boy Big Kev. We're going to get into it right after the intro. All right, good morning, Chicago Cubs fans. Welcome to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs related. It's your boy Big Kev sitting in for my boy Mike Jones as he's taking care of family business. Y'all already know what it is. Hit us up wherever you like to receive your social media information. We're going to get right into it, man. Chicago Cubs take it on the chin last night versus the Milwaukee Brewers to the tune of 9-3. And what an ugly loss it was on the road after losing on Monday 8-4. They go into Milwaukee last night, and Colin Ray was on the mound, and they just couldn't get it done. It was a 2-1 game all the way through the fifth inning when the Milwaukee Brewers explode for 7 runs across the fifth and the sixth inning to put the Chicago Cubs out of their misery. And the Cubs just looked ugly yesterday. And it wasn't necessarily because they didn't score many runs. That's true. But defensively, these guys were out there just making mistake after mistake after mistake, and it cost them. Even the first run that the Milwaukee Brewers scored in the second inning after the Cubs went up 1-0 was based on an error that cost the Cubs a run. That got the sacrifice fly hitting a run. That was Andrew Vaughn hit one in the third inning, and that was after an error as well. And then that fifth inning, oh my God, that fifth inning was rough. And then you had my boy PCA just get turned around in the center field where he just couldn't locate the ball, and when he did, he was worried about running into the wall. Ends up dropping the ball. That leads to some runs, but the sixth inning. Now, the Chicago White Sox may have lost the battle over the past weekend, but when it comes down to this Milwaukee Chicago Cubs rivalry, the White Sox might have won the war because my God, Andrew Vaughn yesterday, this man hits a grand slam, his 10th home run of the season, RBI number 40, and it seems like he's done all of that with the Milwaukee Brewers because he damn sure wasn't doing it for the Chicago White Sox. 3 for 4 yesterday with 6 RBIs for the Milwaukee Brewers. He's raised his batting average is 375. He couldn't even sniff 200 with the Chicago White Sox. Definitely wasn't hitting home runs. Definitely wasn't hitting with runners in scoring position. Was just hitting ground ball after ground ball after ground ball. And now that the Chicago White Sox have traded Andrew Vaughn to the Milwaukee Brewers, he has new life. And I know that people say, "Hey, a change the scenery helps the team, change the scenery helps the player." This man went 90 miles north, and now he's a world beater. The Milwaukee Brewers have lost, I think, 1 or 2 times since he's been on the team. Since he's been on the team. Now, the Cubs managed to put up a couple of runs. Um, Nico Horner hit a home run in the sixth. Uh, Crow Armstrong hit a sacrifice fly in the seventh. But it's the defense yesterday for me that had me just really questioning the effort for Chicago Cubs. Like, if you're going to go on the road versus the team that's in front of you in the division, you have no business making as many mistakes as the Chicago Cubs did. No business. Just poor effort yesterday defensively. And the Cubs are going to have to get it together if they expect to win the game that they need to win this division. Because frankly, making it to the wild card with this roster in my opinion, is just not what's expected, especially as well as the Chicago Cubs have played to start the season. And it just goes to show you that the Milwaukee Brewers, they know. I mean, they've won the division the last 2 seasons. They know that pennants are won after the All-Star break, not before. Chicago Cubs may have all these accolades, they have all these All-Stars, they have all these runs scored, all these home runs hit, all of these stolen bases. Even defensively, they've played really, really well. But you got a little bit over 50 games remaining. And true teams that want to win the World Series know that your best baseball is played after the All-Star break through September, not in March, April, May, June, or July. After the All-Star break. So I guess that includes some of July. And right now, the Chicago Cubs, they haven't been playing really good baseball pretty much since the middle of May, the beginning of June. Like, they've been winning, but not the way they were winning when they started the season. They had, well, I think they had like a 7, 8 game division lead um, earlier in June. And since then, Milwaukee was just chomping at the bit. They're just chomping away, taking small bites, baby steps. And now these guys have overtaken the Cubs, and now they're 2 games ahead of the Cubs in the division for the division lead. Now the Chicago Cubs are still in really good position to make the playoffs, and they can still make a World Series run. But it'll just feel better if they can finally figure out how to beat the Milwaukee Brewers. Like, for years and years, it was the St. Louis Cardinals that would always figure out a way to come out on top in the NL Central. And now it's turning to Milwaukee. And when the Cubs went ahead and got Craig Counsell, it looked like the pendulum was going to shift to the Cubs' favor, and it just hasn't. Right now, it just hasn't. Now, this isn't all doom and gloom. Later today in the matinee, the Brewers may have won this series, but the Cubs can tie the season series and make it 3-3, stop the bleeding with Shota Imanaga on the mound. Now, last time out for Shota Imanaga, it was not pretty. It was not pretty. The Chicago White Sox tagged this man for 12 hits, 7 runs, all of them earned, and 3 home runs in just 3 innings pitched on Friday. That man has a 21 ERA because of that game. And that game alone was 21 ERA. He has to go ahead and shake off whatever rust that was, whatever dust that was that the Chicago White Sox tagged him for, and go out there and put the Chicago Cubs on his back and allow them the opportunity to get a win versus the Milwaukee Brewers. And it's not going to be easy because they're facing Freddie Peralta. Now Shota Imanaga is having a solid season. He was injured, but he's back from injury. 7-4 in the season, 3.12 ERA. 78 innings pitched, 64 hits, 55 strikeouts, 17 walks, and 14 home runs given up. But Freddie Peralta's 12-4 with a 2.81 ERA, 121 and 2/3 innings pitched, 91 hits, 131 strikeouts, 131 strikeouts, 42 walks, and 14 home runs. He does not care about the Chicago Cubs record, how many runs they've scored, how many home runs they've hit. They are really, really, really preparing themselves for the long run. And they want to run away with this division. And the Chicago Cubs better be careful because the teams behind them, the Cincinnati Reds, the St. Louis Cardinals, they also want to figure out how to turn their season around and make it to the postseason. So we're not getting to the point where it's like, oh, it's an epic collapse and the Cubs are just have completely fallen apart and the wheels are falling off, because they're not going to play Milwaukee every single day. We know this, but this is it. This is the only this is this is the last game of the series for the season for the Chicago White Sox and the Milwaukee Brewers. And if the Cubs want to show that they're not just going to roll over and allow these guys to take the division from them, they have to win the game today. They got to go out there and play defense the way that they've played all season. You can't have 3 errors in the game on the road versus the Milwaukee Brewers. You can't have it. You can't have Dansby Swanson swinging at pitches in the dirt with 2 runners on against the Milwaukee Brewers. You just can't have it. Now, there's a couple of things that could have went the Cubs' way last night that just didn't. They had several opportunities to take the lead, to put runners on, to hit with runners in scoring position. Yesterday, the Chicago Cubs were 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. That's just not going to get it done. It's not going to get it done. That they had many opportunities, so it wasn't the offense wasn't putting themselves in position to score. They just didn't. They just didn't. Your boy, what's his name? Brees McGuire, I think that's his name. Reese McGuire. He hit a shot down right field that would have tied the game at 4, a 3-run home run at 4. He just missed it, and that would have changed the game. Would have been a 4-4 game, and who knows what would have happened from that point forward. But that was another opportunity where you had a chance to put runs on the board, and you didn't. McGuire was 0 for 2. Swanson was 1 for 3. He looked bad in one of those at bats, swinging at just a terrible pitch in the dirt. A slider outside. Happ 0 for 2. Horner 0 for 1. Bush 0 for 1. Suzuki, who's been looking pedestrian for the last few weeks, 0 for 1, and Shaw 0 for 2. Then you had an error on Horner, Crow Armstrong, and Shaw. Those types of things can't happen today. If the Chicago Cubs want to tie the season series and put the Milwaukee Brewers in their rear view for now until September, where they have this pennant race, they're gonna have to take care of business today in Milwaukee, 1:10, early afternoon game. So let's see what they can do. Let's see if Craig Counsell and company can have these guys ready to go out there and get a win, because the Chicago Cubs fans deserve to see a team that's going to fight against their division. You can whoop up on the Dodgers, you can whoop up on the Mets, you can whoop up on all the other divisions, but right here in the NL Central, the Milwaukee Brewers has been the king for the last couple of seasons, and it looked like the Chicago Cubs were going to run away with this division. Milwaukee said, hold my beer, a Southside. Let us get Andrew Vaughn, the former number 3 overall pick, about you. And that kid has delivered. Can't be mad at it. Well, we can be mad at it, but I'm not even going to say I'm happy to see Andrew Vaughn succeeding, because he didn't do anything for the Chicago White Sox at all. But right now, he's the Chicago Cubs killer. It's crazy to see that the Chicago White Sox can't really beat the Cubs, but their former players can. All right, it's your boy Big Kev holding it down for my boy Mike, who's taking care of some family business, man. Congratulations to my boy Mike and his family over there doing big things. Hit us up, man. Y'all know what to do. Y'all know all the social media accolades, all the different ways to reach out to Mike. Don't forget to follow the rest of the Chi-Town sports family. Just type in your favorite Chicago sports team, put the word Central behind it, and you find one of us. You also got NFL Central, NBA Central, and the Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys, C-Dub and Bobby, and Fighting Illini Central as well. Football season is on the horizon, so don't forget to check out Chicago Bear Central for daily updates on training camp. It's your boy Big Kev holding it down for Big Mike and the North Side. We're going to holler at you guys next time. Peace.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.